What's up, guys? We're Morbid Curiosities bringing you another episode with Child's Play 2. I'm Nicholas Ewers, and with me is the lightweight champion of the world, the Midwest monster, the morbid mistress of mayhem herself.
Mercedes Martinez.
Woo! Yeah, what do you think about that? I wasn't gonna yell it this time. You're the lightweight champion of the world. You hold that title now.
I was like, wait, where did that come from? I don't remember that. And then just
Yeah,
listening to the rest of it, I'm like, well, he's going in really smooth. Okay.
yeah, I was like, I meant to do that last episode when I did the big like wrestler type of thing, but I forgot the lightweight champion. I'm like, well, the wrestler thing makes less sense now. And I'm like, if I'm not yelling it, I'll be able to actually say it. And I wrote it down this time.
Okay. I appreciate
So
the effort. I love it.
I added I added it to the bottom of our notes. You said your name though, right? You introduced yourself.
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah, guys, we're here. We're in it with Child's Play 2. Spoilers for Child's Play 2 ahead. Just so you guys are aware. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. This movie fucks hard, man. This movie rules. Yeah, do you
Mhm.
want to just get right into it? Get right into Child's Play 2?
Yeah, let's go.
You go
It
first.
was
You go first
oh,
on Child's Play 2. Take it away.
okay. Okay, correct me if any of my dates or like facts are wrong. But it was made in 1990 by directed by John Lafia, I think.
Lafayette, I
Um
think that's correct,
Lafia.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm terrible with names. But yeah, we're following the story of Andy Barkley going from his crazy ass experience with his killer doll and just following his story from there. He's like a year or so older and just dealing with life after that. He ends up in a foster home. And even before we jump into that, I firmly believe this is the movie that started my love for ASMR videos. Are you into videos like that?
I've never dabbled, but I've always been told I have like an ASMR type of voice. And I've never
Really?
known if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, like I
It's a
don't know.
good thing.
I had a girlfriend tell me that before when we were on the phone before. I must have been like laying down and talking in a specific low like mumble kind of. I don't know. I'm not familiar with ASMR. But so wait, this movie was your love for ASMR? This specific
Yes,
movie?
yes, because of that intro when they're essentially resurrecting Chucky and
Mm-hmm.
just his whole burnt up body, his head, they just show like them scraping away all the burnt material and just cleaning out his teeth. I'm not gonna lie, that's the part that I did not like because the scraping of the teeth, ill.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then they're just making him look all nice, getting him back into his pretty little self and just like spray painting everything. You hear all the nice little smooth sounds and noises that it takes to put him together. I would rewatch that part every single time I watched it, like, I don't know, 3 times. And then watching it for this episode, I was like, yo, no wonder why I watch these videos all the time because I'll watch videos on my phone of people just getting ready for work or, making coffee. And it drives my husband crazy because he's like, all they're doing is like just tapping on things like they're not doing anything. So but this
Well,
is the
how are
reason
these
why.
videos shot? Are they just like on an iPhone or are they like really good
They
looking videos?
they're good looking videos, so I think they buy like those actual little cameras and they just show like a point of view of them touching something or if they bring something up, like if they're doing skincare, they've pulled it up and they're like, "Ooh, look at this." And I don't know if you guys heard that, but
Yeah.
they
Do you have
yeah,
a
they tap it
specific
with their
page?
nails. I just follow whatever, like whatever pops up. Mainly about coffee though. Like the coffee ones are where it's at.
I never I've never knew that about you, but I never knew that was a thing. That's so interesting. Do you remember the first time you stumbled upon was it like did you Was it something where you were just like down a YouTube, like a dark YouTube rabbit hole or something? Like it was just one of those days, like raining outside. You're like, how did I get here? And then you just like saw something that you can't unsee and it unlocked something. Or did you find out about it and just go out of your way to search it and investigate on your own?
I think it was during a very depressing time during COVID because,
That's
we're all
always
just
how you find shit on YouTube.
I know, like it was because I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, the Dalagna coffee or whatever. If I said that wrong, I hate that coffee anyway. But
I think you just
yeah,
made that coffee up. That
no, it's like you would get instant coffee, you would put sugar in it and water, and you would get a little milk frother, froth the shit out of it, and then it would like foam up. And then you'd put like your milk, your ice, whatever else in it. And everyone was making that, and they were making it look so aesthetically pleasing. And I'm like, I really need to try this. And when I tried it, my brother-in-law was home and I'm like, okay, cool. He likes coffee too. Let's see if he likes it. He really liked it. I hated it. So I'm like, okay, this isn't for me, but I think that's what spiraled it and then I just kept watching all those videos even though that coffee disgusted me.
I re- I have an appreciation for a niche like that. That's very interesting, and it kind of makes me want to go out of my way to look up different videos just so I can find something and be like, "Look, I have a thing too. I have a thing I watch too." That's so like funny and like cool. I like it. I appreciate that. I like a unique thing. I'm a, i- if that makes sense. That's such a weird thing to say.
No, it does.
I like people being into a unique thing or me myself being into a unique thing.
Yeah, it makes for a good conversation starter. And it's also called Dalgana coffee. I've been saying that wrong for years. Wow. People are probably
What did
laughing
you
at
call
me.
it? Dalagma?
Dalagna.
Dalagna? Close
I
enough.
told
I mean,
I am bad with names. It is terrible.
that's good though. I mean,
I
you're
tried,
kind
guys. I really
it's,
tried.
they both started with a D, it
This
worked
is
out.
why my teachers hated me. I didn't spell check or proofread my shit whenever I turned it in. So, whoops.
Now you got a phone to do it for you, so
I know.
suck it, teachers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go back to our old high school and be like, look, see, I don't need you anymore.
Oh my god. I can't
This
be
does
I can't
math
be
for me.
I can't do PTSD with our high school. Anyway, anyway.
Yeah.
What did
Speaking of
you think of this
PTSD,
film?
oh, oh, that was good. We just walked over each other.
I know. Okay, you go
Oh,
on first. Go first.
okay. Um, no, I did. Well, I thought this movie fucking ruled. I agreed that opening credits rules. So I realized during the opening credits, I've seen parts of these movies. I must have been like pretty young, or I must have just not fully been paying attention. But there were shots, different moments where I'm like, okay, I remember the image of this and the whole opening credits I had in my mind. But yeah, that shit rules. I was like, what a way to start a movie.
Right?
We are we know how the last one ended, and my first thought is, how is Chucky coming back? And then the first thing we see is they're rebuilding Chucky in just such a cool, like, it's in these close-ups. The first thing we see after like just black with opening credits, it's like the camera's spinning out on like Chucky's eye, and then
Mhm.
it's it's really like awesome. I've watched that opening credit sequence maybe like 6 or 7 times, and I haven't even seen the movie that many times just because I really at first I didn't know what I was like looking at like in every shot, and I kind of wanted to like be like, what part are they cleaning off? Like, what is happening here? I was like so interested in how they shot it and what was actually like happening within the frame. And one thing you did say, which I wasn't quite sure on, is this a year after? I felt like this is like very quickly after because they are like cleaning the stall, and it sounds like there's like lawsuits or something, maybe, or like investigations. It seems like it would be a year because of Andy, but is this like pretty quickly, like maybe a couple weeks or a month after
I
Child's
think
Play?
it's yeah, I think it's shortly after the events of the first one. I think I was just remembering the documentary Living with Chucky, and the actress who played Kyle in there. She was mentioning how her and Alex Vincent, like their age differences, and she's like Andy was 9 or Alex Vincent was 9. So I think that's what I was referring to. My bad. But yeah,
No,
shortly after.
no, because it was like the actor himself, his look in this movie makes it seem like more time has passed because he has
That
like
too.
grown more. And I was like, okay, Chucky being cleaned and like everything going on that end of the movie puts this movie in like it grounds this movie in more of a time for me. But if we didn't have that, I would have judged just by his look, been like, "Yeah, this is like 2 or 3 years later or something."
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, he
like,
definitely looked older.
it's so unfortunate the actress who plays his mom is out of the picture. I don't know if she returns for any more movies. It seems like nobody really returns outside of Andy in these movies. I don't know. You're making a face. I don't know. Um
I'm trying not to ruin a movie for or ruin anything for you because I
yeah.
have a bad habit of spoiling movies for people, and it's like, well, they didn't tell me not to spoil it. They tell me after I've spoiled it, and I'm like, sorry. So I'm trying so hard not to give you spoilers. I've been trying not to give you spoilers since the
Yeah.
first one.
Well, I appreciate the effort and you've succeeded. I don't think you've really
For
spoiled
now.
anything.
For
Yeah.
now.
And
It's gonna happen and I'm gonna feel terrible.
once we get to Bride of Chucky, I think I'm gonna stop caring about spoilers. I just like I
Okay.
really don't want to know what happens in Child's Play 3 or Bride of Chucky. Seed of
Okay.
Chucky, I think I'm not gonna give too much of a shit about. I like kind
You're
of
not.
resent that movie. We'll get into it on that episode. I'm building it up, hyping it up. Um
Okay, cool, cool.
but yeah, his mom isn't in this, understandably so. I don't know if she just didn't want to do the sequel or they purposely wrote her out. Whatever the case is, um, I really like the foster home approach to this story.
I do too, because at least it shows him in a different environment, one that's not comfortable for anyone to be in because they're taken from their home after this horrible ass thing happened to them. And now he is trying to somewhat settle down in this foster home. But let's talk about these foster parents. The mother, she's an angel, but the dad
Yeah.
needs to go straight to fucking hell. Maybe he doesn't because I'm probably going to hell too and I don't need to see him there, but he just, why are you in this movie as a foster parent? Like, oh my god, I
He
hated him.
he seems like his heart's in the right
Don't
place.
defend him. He does not have a fucking leg to stand on. Pun
I
intended.
before we get into him, I do want to say I like your pun. I don't want to skip over that. Shout out to Mercedes pun. You said it was intended?
Yes, was intended.
Good. Shout out to the intended pun. um I before we get into the dad, I want to say that I agree. His wife is an angel and vaguely British, kind of. I was like really
Really?
trying to
Okay.
lock in watching it a second time. I was like, is this lady British? It's hard to tell. But yeah, why do you hate the dad? Why do you hate good people so much?
No one could see that, but
You know,
I just
you
gave Nick a look. I was so mad at him for that.
you defend Big Justin through the teeth a couple episodes ago, but you're like bailing on this foster dad. He's got it hard, man. You know,
You know,
it's
when
hard
they're
having a beautiful, vaguely British wife.
they're in the foster home though, or no, they're in the orphanage, and he's just sitting there like contemplating, are we capable or qualified to handle a child like this? Okay, if you were having those doubts from the get go, you didn't have to take this little kid home. And then when you are home with him, you're complaining that he's trying to touch all the little like antique statues that you have. Why the fuck do you have all of those out, knowing that you're bringing children that aren't yours into the house that are probably curious? Some of them might have even stole some of your things. I don't know. But then you just like talk so much shit about this kid. Why are you a foster parent? Oh my god,
Um,
I am winded.
so so you're saying they should have just given up on Andy?
Yeah,
There
like
was
let
no
someone
hope for
else
Andy.
loving.
Let him fall victim to the system.
Like, if he wasn't taken by them, it would have been unfortunate because then he wouldn't have met the lovely Kyle. But, um,
We'll get
this
into
dad was
Kyle.
j yeah, but this dad was such an asshole. I hated him. He killed the movie for me. If he wasn't in there, it would have been great, and once he met his fate, oh my god, I was so happy.
You were happy?
Yes,
Really?
he deserved what he
I
got.
don't think you were supposed to be happy when he died.
No, I was so happy. I was screaming. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. Watch this
Oh,
movie, guys, if you haven't watched it.
oh, wow. Oh, wow. His wife, when she died, when she's like, "Get away from me," and then she's like, "Oh God," and
That
it's
was
like
hard.
that was great acting. I was like, "Yeah, I
Mhm,
would fucking lose it too." She loved
mhm.
that man. She saw something in that man that you're not seeing.
Well, that's why she chose him, and I
Oh
didn't.
man, maybe he was, you know, sterile or whatever, and like he couldn't bring kids into the world. He was just so mad, and he's like, maybe his insecurities were talking there when he was, before they took Andy home.
Probably this man, he's just not equipped to be a foster dad or
You
a
don't know what
father
his day
figure
was
to
like.
anybody.
Wow.
This man was over here
That's-
asking this kid who's like 9 years old or however old he is if he likes sushi. What kid is going to tell you, "Yeah, I like sushi." Go
you
to
don't
hell,
know.
guy.
This is a 1990s kid. You don't know. This is a pre 9/11 kid.
Did you like sushi when you were a kid?
I did. And when I was in like 6th grade, that's when I first had sushi. I really liked it. Yeah.
How old are we in 6th grade?
Uh, 11 maybe.
Okay, so you had a few years on this other kid.
How old is
This kid,
Andy?
I don't know, he's like 9 in here, I think. I keep just going off of that documentary, but all the kid gives the most simple answer that he likes eggs for breakfast. So,
What a fucking dweeb.
wow, okay,
You
just
just want to give that kid
knock
a
on the
swirly.
protein there. Oh my
Just
god. Let me
making me
not
to
jump into the bullying that this
making
kid
me a knuckle
endures later.
sandwich.
You know what? Shut up. Shut up. What
Does
did
he get
you think
bullied?
of the He does get bullied.
Who's bullying
Like,
him?
the
I'll
little
beat him up.
shit on the bus, like they show him going to school, his first day of school, and once he gets on the bus, like all the kids are just being kids, their little tiny rowdy selves. But then this one kid just like aggressively shoves him for no fucking reason. And then
He's like,
I
"Hi,
think
you don't
that
have a dad or a mom."
probably, and then I don't know if it was the same kid or a different kid, but when he was in the classroom, he's just sitting there, like, his hands all folded on the desk, listening to his teacher read, and this fucking kid behind him just flicks his ear, and then Andy's the one that gets in trouble. Not the kid, not the bully, Andy. I love Andy. Don't fuck with Andy.
Andy did get in trouble. Yeah, man. Do you think Kettlefish, what's her name? Let me look in the notes. Mercedes
Kettlebell?
very good Kettlewell, yeah. Mercedes very
Oh,
well put together
kettlewell.
notes. Yeah, did you say kettlebell?
I did. I'm literally thinking about going to the gym right now.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you think she deserved to die too? Death by ruler beating?
Absolutely,
Really?
absolutely.
Absolutely?
Ye
Really?
She
Mercedes.
deserved
Wow.
it. I told you, I am not a nice person. I tell that to everybody I encounter. I'm not a nice person, and they're like, "What? I haven't seen that side of you." Like, "No, you're not. You're lying." I'm like, "Okay." And then
You
when my
know,
opinions come out, that's when they look at me
in our notes,
differently.
so you think Kettlewell and Phil were so bad they deserved the to not exist anymore, to experience
Yes.
no life.
Yes,
But
exactly.
ne- next to Tommy in our notes, you have an upset emoji. Explain. Explain the
So
emoji.
so for a little context, guys, Nick created these detailed ass notes that we're sharing, and he has a section labeled death or deaths. I can't talk
Deaths.
today or ever. So I wrote the toy guy from the beginning, and then I wrote Tommy, who was the other good guy doll in there, and I felt bad for Tommy. Like he all he wanted was a hug. And then
Tommy
Chucky just
wasn't
came and
alive.
all he wanted was a hug though. And Chucky
I
just came
mean,
over and whacked the shit out of him and he
it,
essentially died.
it's a
His spit
post Me Too era. Folks, if you haven't heard what happened to John Lasseter, look it up. You can't hug people anymore. Tommy deserved that death.
Tommy did not deserve that death. He did not deserve to have his face bashed in the way he did.
He
That was
did.
rude. And then Chucky's little ass buries him and is giving his most iconic laugh. Like Brad Dourif is amazing with that. But
Not
yeah.
his laugh and his scream of pain, and like at the
Yeah.
end when
Mhm.
he enters the like whatever after like his fake genitals get stapled and he's in pain. I'm pretty sure you don't have anything there, dude. I haven't seen the sequels, but I don't know if they show Chucky's dick. Um, but when he is writhing in pain and ends up in that machine and you're not seeing him, you're just hearing him. I was like, God, but this is why you hire Brad Dourif. Dourif.
Mhm.
Dourif? One of the two.
Dourif. Not to it's not necessarily a spoiler, but it is cool just to think about because and a little weird to think about.
They do show Chucky's
So
genitals in future movies.
no, why are you
Is that what
thinking
you're
about
telling
Chucky's
me?
genitals? No, would you shut the
Why
fuck up?
wouldn't you think about Chucky's genitals? Are you kidding me?
Is that what you're thinking of watching this movie?
Not the whole time, but I mean, they
Wow.
call attention to it when they staple his
And you're over
genitals.
here mad at me because was rooting for the two negative characters in here to get their fate, to get killed by Chucky.
Yes, you're rooting for death. I'm like, thought is being provoked in me while I'm watching this.
Anyway, uh, no, with Bride of Chucky, they were showing like behind the scenes footage of Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly doing their voice acting. And they had them in two booths like facing each other, and that's how like they acted out everything. And I thought that was so cool because it's like I never thought about that before seeing those. And then it's like, okay, like you really have to get into character if you're in pain, or with some other scenes in that movie that we won't get into yet. But yeah,
So it's
so
Jennifer Tilly. Um,
mhm.
I said Gina Gershaw in the last episode. Fuck. I'll edit that out. Still editing the last episode. Um,
Gina
are you checking to see?
Gershon. Yeah, no, I
Is she,
just want to see who that is because I'm like, I know I've heard the name, I just can't
is
say
she
the face.
in
No, it's
is she in the Chucky movies? Do you have a picture of her?
uh I don't think she's in the Chucky
Okay, I
movies.
don't know why that name felt associated with these movies. Okay.
I don't know.
Tilly.
Now I'm gonna keep looking at like watching the films to see if she's in here, but I'm almost 99% sure she's not in
Okay.
any of these films.
Well, I fucked that up. Just misspeaking, and I probably confidently said it too. God damn it.
We are not experts here, guys. Like, we're here watching our blind spot horror movies, just here to have a good time. So, if you're looking for facts, do your own damn research. Don't rely on us.
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes said it perfectly. I echo that sentiment. Just This movie, we're shouting our or not this movie, Jesus Christ. This is, that's how stupid this podcast is.
No,
um,
we're on
uh,
fire with this episode already.
we are. This is a good one. I'm loving it. And
Yeah.
so is everyone else. Rate and review us 5 stars, folks.
Hell yeah.
But we are shouting our ignorance from the rooftops. uh,
Mhm.
uh, from like the top of this podcast. So yeah. We're not a research based podcast. We're just having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Um
Anyway, um,
s-
yeah.
let
So Chucky's genitals. Do you have any more to say on that since you brought it up,
let's talk about Kyle. That's a better
Kyle?
conversation or a better topic.
Equally as good, I would say.
Why do I talk to you? Why what are we doing here?
We're trying to get rich and famous off of other people's movies.
Very true. Okay, so Kyle, played
Kyle.
by Christine Elise, I believe. Um, I liked her character. What did you think about her?
I love Kyle. Kyle, this movie fucking sinks without Kyle. Even though I really like this movie, like she brings us up from like a 6 star to like an 8, maybe 9 star movie for me.
Hmm.
um I dig her. I dig her dynamic with Andy. She's not like an asshole to him. Like, yeah, she has this like I'm too cool like to hang out with you kind of attitude, but
Hmm.
she like feels like she's looking out for him from the very beginning, from the moment he like takes a drag of that cigarette while they're hanging out
Right.
downstairs. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm glad she doesn't die. I just she's probably going to be my favorite character in this franchise, and I got a bit of a spoiler just by looking up her filmography cuz I thought I recognized her from something I didn't. But yeah, she's only credited in one other movie going forward. Um yeah, so that was unfortunate. That was kind of disappointing. These Child's Play movies always leave me hanging where I'm like, I don't know what the next one is going to do. And I fucking love it. And I really hope 3 rules. But yeah, that I love Kyle. Kyle, like when I saw her, I was like, because you like this more than the first one, right?
I think I do. I always
I
say like I'm teetering on it, but I think I do, honestly.
no, I was like, Kyle feels like somebody that you would like just fucking vibe with, and I was like,
Oh,
she's
hell yeah.
probably what's pushing it over to being better than the first one for you. Like
Yeah, I love
Ky-
Kyle.
Kyle and Andy's mom in the first one. I mean, we've got 2 strong like fucking companion characters for Andy while he's combating Chucky, and I've been digging it. They've made 2 really good choices so far in these movies. I don't know what they're gonna do in the third one. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, Chucky exploded. They bloated him up. You know, he turned into waxed, and they bloated him.
Oh
I don't
my
know why I
god, it
decided
is
to talk like a toddler there, but
it's
you know,
okay.
it's
It is
recorded
it
and out to the world now.
it is taking me everything not to give my opinions on the third one or
Just
just like
talk about
start
this
spoiling
one.
it for you. I'm
Talk about
trying,
this
but you
one.
keep saying like, what's going to happen and I want to just be like this is going to happen.
Why?
I'm sorry because I
We're
feel
gonna
very strongly for this franchise. So like don't rile me up like that cuz I will just go off and then
don't
I'm
ride
just
you.
going to I'm just going to screw up this whole episode. So
What am I
let's
supposed to
let's hold it back.
say
Let's
then?
pull it back. Pull it back. Pull
if
it
I
in
can't.
or reel it in. Shut up.
So I'm not supposed to
Shh.
answer your questions
Of
on
course you're
time.
supposed to answer my questions. um
Oh,
but anyway, back
I just
to
ignore you. You're like, Nick, what do you think? And I'm just like,
I mean you
no,
ignore me half the time anyway.
no, I don't.
You talk over me a lot.
Don't. I
Guys,
do.
what do you think? Does
I do.
Nick talk over me a
You
lot?
don't need to write in. I agreed with you. We don't need to hear what the people think. They don't need to get involved.
Watch everyone just comment on that.
They will. People, they heard the burp, you know?
Shout
So,
out to Blissfully Bliss for that.
yeah.
um, But no, with Kyle, I loved her character. As soon as like I saw her for the first time when I watched it, I was just like, "Whoa, who is this cool ass looking female? I've never seen someone like that." And just like her whole personality, she just seemed like a badass. And the fact that she wasn't ever directly mean to Andy or to anyone for that matter. She was just kind of like closed off to everyone and treated everyone the same pretty much. Um that felt better because it's Andy, he's in such a terrible situation at this point and she's just there, telling him this is how it is. This is how it's going to be going forward, and just treating him as an equal instead of a little kid. I love that dynamic that they had with each other. And then you can just see her like slowly looking out for him as the movie went on, especially at the end. Like she was such a cool character. Even Andy's mom in the first one, Karen, was such a sweetheart. So I agree on these two strong female characters. See everyone. I There are some female characters that I do like, not all the time, some. Um, but yeah, these ones I
It's
love.
growth. We're seeing growth from Mercedes in
It's
real
not gonna
time.
last. It's not gonna last. I promise you, it is not gonna last.
Yeah,
It
I feel
it
like these movies
fluctuates.
just it fluctuates. You said.
Yes, it fluctuates.
Yeah, and I feel like these movies probably get more misogynistic as they go. Um,
Kind of, yeah.
yeah, we'll get there.
um, yeah. So just going forward, love those two. But how did you like Andy's or Alex Vincent's performance in here?
Um, I did quite enjoy his performance. I he does the kid actor thing pretty good. You can tell he's acting like he's not just a kid that got thrust into it, but he feels like he's sunk into this character and he knows what he's doing. And I I'm ready to watch him kind of see what he becomes by the third movie. I'm really into it because as far as I know, he really hasn't acted much outside of these Child's Play movies, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you know anything about his acting career. Is that true?
I feel like he might have been in one other thing outside of the Child's Play franchise. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, outside of here, I don't think he had too much going on. Now I want to
Yeah,
look
but
that up, but yeah.
yeah, everything Andy and Kyle were bringing to this movie was top notch, and I really like Andy too, or not Andy, Kyle too. She seems like she could like play bass in a band, kind of like the green room bassist a little
You
bit.
just
I
want
was like,
everyone to play bass. Like you just need to make that known to everyone. We get
I,
it.
I was
We get it.
waiting for it. I mean,
We get it.
Cuckoo. Have you seen Cuckoo?
I have not.
Hunter Schafer, she plays bass in that movie, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm on board. You know,
Of course you were.
more
You're
basses.
biased.
Yeah, I am. It's probably just easy for an actor to pick up a bass that's like a dumb caveman instrument. You're laughing because
I
it's
n-
true. The laughter
no,
hurts.
I'm laughing because I never heard that. So that's a new one for me. I will forever remember that now.
And so will the listeners. Um, I also I love Chucky in this movie, the animatronic work. Didn't remember the puppeteer's name. I forgot it, but guys, look up the puppeteer who operates Chucky. It's him and a team of like 9 or 11 guys, I think, and the work they do
Hmm.
is great. My favorite part, Chucky always has one moment where somebody is wrestling with him, and Kyle has it when he comes in and sees the mom like bound and gagged and dead. I don't know if her throat is slit or if she was choked or suffocated. It looked like it could have been all of the above. But yeah, when
Probably.
Kyle wrestles with her, I thought that was like really fun. The whole fight that they have, I like Chucky having one-on-one with an adult.
It's so cool just like seeing this tiny um figure toy, that's what he is, a toy, in comparison to a fully grown adult, not my size fully grown adult, an actual average size fully grown adult, and him just like going at it with them. He's like latched on to Kyle's neck, and you just see his feet kicking like crazy, like a little kid. The puppeteer's name, N. Brock Winkless? Winkless? I think
Brock
that's his name, yeah.
Winkler?
Yeah,
Winkless is the last name?
Winkless. Yeah, Winkless.
Winkless. Okay.
I
Shout
was
out to
really
him.
trying not to say that wrong.
It he'll get over it.
But yeah, the fact that they had so many puppeteers just to maneuver Chucky around, that intimidates me because I still have people to this day asking me to play video games, and I'm like, I cannot because once we evolved with like the PlayStation being able to not use the little arrows but the analog sticks, and then using the other one to just move the camera point of view around, I no, I can't do that. I end up
You're like,
walking into walls, falling into the ocean. Like I can't. So the fact that they were all able to do that, oh my god, bravo.
so you just need like 2D gameplay, basically. Like a flat, you go side by side or forward type of thing. Like old school Pokemon, you can go in a bunch of directions, or like Mario. I mean, Pokemon's, but I still play Pokemon, you know? Come at
I
me,
was
listeners.
I was still playing Crash Bandicoot a few years ago, and that was
That's more acceptable. That's
difficult.
a Crash Bandicoot is more acceptable and more like adult. I feel like that's more. I mean, people do play Pokemon. Pokemon is the most like profitable brand in the world. I think it's like made the most money out of any like iconography and like product. I think, um, but and I know a bunch of like people my age and older and like adults that still play Pokemon. I mostly just play the old games, but I feel like Crash Bandicoot is like that's cool. That's hip to still play that, you know? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's like I
even with
play
that
Crash
game I stuck.
Bandicoot and like, have drink some beers, have some people over,
Exactly.
you
I
know?
think I would just like eat pizza and play that game and then get mad because I would lose almost every level. And yeah, even in high school, I was playing my older siblings' games, which was what, Three Extreme and something else. But I can't play any other game like that because I'm terrible. I'm too scared. I want to, but I'm too scared. I'll die in every level.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I
Wow,
don't
no
play
tips
video
or
games.
anything.
I don't
Thanks.
play video games
Thanks.
like at all, really. I can give you Pokemon tips. That's like the
Dead
only
silence. I don't fuck with
Pokemon's like the only
Pokemon like
video
that.
game I really play.
Nah, I don't fuck with that.
You don't fuck with Pokemon?
I don't.
Damn. Well, I don't know.
Now you got some dead silence. And what?
Yeah.
And
Nana
what?
boo boo, stick your head in doo doo. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I think about your dislike of Pokemon. uh
Woosah.
anyway.
Okay, now all of that is out of our system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's turned into built up resentment. No, I'm
hmm
kidding. Um
um.
yeah, so I never really did fully touch on. Yeah, I don't think Phil had to die. I don't think
Yes,
Phil
he did.
needed to die.
Yes,
He
he did.
was he he was giving Andy a bit too hard of a time. He was too rough on Andy. I don't know if he deserved to die. His
Yes, he did.
heart was in the right place. Um
Where? Where did you
r-
see his heart being in the right place?
he just I mean, he thought that this kid like
Exactly. You can't even finish the sentence.
made up a doll. Or like he thought this kid made up an a personality for his doll, and like the the kid is like claiming this doll like killed multiple people, and I mean, is the kid to blame? Are they putting the blame on mom? Is that why she's not in the movie?
Um, they mention in the beginning how the cops that were on scene when all that happened, they denied everything, but the mom stuck to Andy's story and she defended him. So they like put her in a psychiatric hospital, I believe, and that's
S-
why she wasn't in there.
And the detective, what happened to him?
They just said like he denied it and they don't bring him up in this movie.
Man, so who is answering for all of these deaths? All the bodies that piled up? I mean, explosions happened. There was property damage. A car was totaled. you know?
I mean, I guess Andy was capable of great things to these people.
So, I mean, if Andy's catching the blame, this dad's kind of reasonable.
Shut
I
up.
don't know.
Shut up. Don't finish
um,
that. Don't be rude. Don't be
I will.
rude.
Someone who I do think deserved to die is little
Mrs. Kettle.
Charles, the little
Wait, who?
Chucky,
Oh, Tommy?
Charles Lee Ray
Oh, yeah.
himself.
Well, you said little Char. Oh, duh. At the end.
Because he's
Sorry.
little, he's in a doll body. He's not. I call him Big Charles. Wouldn't make any sense. He's small.
No, you just confused me calling him little Charles because I don't know why I automatically reverted back to Tommy. Um, Of course he deserved to die. He was wreaking havoc on this entire film, but in the most iconic way possible.
I like the factory stuff. Everything like from the moment Kyle Indiana Jones slides under that
Oh my god, I would
garage door that's
never been
closing.
able to do that. Oh
Oh, me
god.
either. I'm too tall.
Nope.
I'd be cut in half. I have to like roll
I'm
sideways maybe.
I'm not good at
Get in
rolling.
quicker.
I would get dizzy and stop. um no, but
Oh,
that
well,
whole
you can just
scene.
slide right in, right?
What do you mean I could just slide right in?
Because the joke I made about myself is I'm like so tall it would take me too long to get through the door. It would just close on me at a certain point. But Kyle's like,
So, I
normal people can get through, you know.
Kyle looks like she could be about your height.
Oh no, she looks like she's like
I
pretty
don't know.
short,
Everyone
I
looks tall.
think.
Everyone looks tall to me. Tall to me. But anyway, were you trying to make a short joke
No, I
again?
wasn't. I knew you were gonna.
Lies.
Right when I got it out, I was like, I know she's gonna fucking spin this, and I said I wasn't gonna do it. I was
Rude.
talking about how I'm tall, and
Rude. If you're talking about how you're tall, that automatically means you're talking about how I'm short.
how I mean,
It's just
comparatively
logic.
to
It is
most,
just logic.
uh,
Don't try to fight me on that. Anyway, back to the
I
factory.
just can't win.
No, you can't. Back to the factory. Just imagine the feeling that Andy went through just going in there, seeing all these good guy dolls, like endless amount of good guy dolls. Like his anxiety is probably like on 1,000 at this point. Like, are all of these good guy dolls gonna come to life? I love that they made that whole maze essentially. That gave me anxiety watching it.
Is he aware that little Charles is a serial killer, or does he just think it's like a doll that's trying to get him? Does he know the backstory behind this doll?
Is that what you're referring to him as, little Charles, from now
It's just
on?
coming naturally. I don't know. What, do you got a problem with that too?
No, it's just it's gonna make more sense in the third
What are
one,
you,
so
you're like by default I'm calling you little or something?
I wasn't, but okay, now we'll get back into the short jokes. Thanks, douchebag.
I
But
just
no,
had to.
it's just it's funny because that's kind of like a prelude or whatever it's called leading up to the third one. So I just find that cool that you're calling him that right now. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that Andy knows about him because he does go into detail about that with one of the doctors who was talking to him in the beginning. So,
One thing I really like too
anyway.
is when they're Chucky. Doesn't feel right calling him Chucky. I made
Yes,
myself
it
say it.
does.
I almost said Little Charles, and I'm like, let me try Chucky. And the
No, just say
listeners could
Chucky.
hear. They could hear the apprehension before I said Chucky. They could hear. Didn't sound right. It
Chucky.
wasn't
Chucky
natural.
sounds right.
They're like
Chucky
Nick's
sounds
heart
right.
wasn't in it. When him and
I
Little
can't deal with you.
Charles can't deal with me.
No, I can't.
I have that effect on women. Um, uh, what- um,
Now we
I
can't get
lost my
back on.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
We can't get back on point. Little
when
Charles, you were saying.
when Charles Lee Ray himself, and Chucky, Jesus, not and Chucky, God,
And
when Chucky
Andy.
and Chucky, this is going off the rails. I might edit that out.
Yeah.
When when Charles and Andy uh are in the room together, I don't even remember what room it is, but when he's like, "What? You act like you haven't seen a dead body before." I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
he's got a good point. Andy has seen a dead body.
I
Is it
like that
right?
scene.
Should kids be seeing dead bodies? That's the question I'm posing to you. Should our children, should the youth of America be exposed to death like this?
Well, my nephews were
As a proud mother
exposed to these
yourself.
movies.
Wait, sorry, I
No.
talked over. What did you say?
See what I mean?
I know.
And
I
at least
like.
I'm showing some growth. You're just
Oh
regressing. You're
God.
regressing.
Go
Just
ahead.
let that sink in. Let that sink
Go.
in. Anyway.
Your turn. You speak. I shut up now.
um no, I've noticed more and more kids are just watching horror movies or just know about these characters. Um Main example I always go back to are my nephews. They watched the Halloween movies, they watched the Chucky movies, Child's Play movies. Um they'd be scared, but they would still want to watch it. And then even you had mentioned like with the Terrifier movie, there was a bunch of little kids there. So
Yeah.
all these kids, they're exposed to some version of death. So what does that
I
say about their parents?
I feel like these characters, true. These characters are all over TikTok and social media in probably non-horrific ways, I'm pretty sure. And
Mm.
also, yes, these kids are growing up with parents who grew up on horror movies, and I feel like they're testing the waters at an even younger age. I did hear someone on a podcast what they do with their kid, and I thought this was very cool, and I would probably do this if I were a parent. But they will start off watching, they'll let their kid pick the horror movie. If they want to watch it, they'll be like, okay, we're going to try it. And they'll start out watching it at night with the lights off and the TV on. And if they can't handle it, they turn it off. And then they try again the next morning when it's daylight out. And usually they can handle it then, and the kid is okay. And they usually take that approach. If it's too scary when it's dark, then they do it in the daylight, and they always make sure the kid is able to communicate when they can't handle it, and they don't make them sit through anymore.
I like that approach. You're starting them off young. You're letting them know that they are in a safe space, and they probably develop a newfound love for these horror films. I like that. If I have kids, I'm gonna take that route.
And it probably teaches them good communication skills and like a level of like responsibility over themselves, you know? I feel like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like that approach. I just keep thinking
You're like,
of
I'm going to teach my dog to watch movies now.
she won't even watch TV with me. I'll even be watching a movie and there's a dog losing their mind on the TV and she's just knocked out on the couch, snoring as if she worked all day. Like nothing stirs her until we're about to walk out the door.
If the lights are off, my dog will sit and watch the TV.
My dog will just fall asleep. She won't care.
Yeah, Ava locks right in. She just stares at it like she understands what the fuck is happening. She's like, "Yep, this is Act 2. Uh,
I wish my
Ethan
dog
Hunt
would be able
is doing it."
to.
Mission
I
Impossible.
wish
Shout
you
out to
would
Mission
able
Impossible.
to. Nice. I can't. I just need a new dog. This one's defective. She doesn't watch TV with me. Um, but no, it was cool seeing my nephews watch horror movies as little tater tots. I just have this one memory of my nephew, let's call him Tad. But he had
It's a
like
good name,
little
Ted.
thank you. He probably won't like that I called him that. Um he had these SpongeBob pajamas on and he was sitting in my mom's bed
He
and
might not like that you're saying that either.
probably not,
Calling out
but
his
I love this kid.
pajamas.
I know. Well, he's mean to me sometimes.
How old
But
is he?
he's 18.
Oh, wow. I thought this was a little kid. Yeah, he's really gonna not like the SpongeBob pajama thing now. Yeah, but
He's
he's mean to you. Call
adorable.
him out. What else embarrassing
Yeah.
can you say about him before you get
Oh,
into this story?
well, a cute thing was the
You ever
other
eat his
day,
boogers as a kid?
no. He the other day, when I was looking for some uh some documents, I found this little card he gave me um when he was in like second grade or something. They had Valentine's Day and at the school, and he was getting his cards ready, and then he just left one in my room, and it had a Lightning McQueen on it, and it said heart thumping wow in time. And I have kept that ever since because I thought that was the cutest thing ever. I'm like, oh my god, this is the most heartfelt Valentine I've gotten from
Th-
this little kid.
That is cute.
Yeah, so I love him. I adore him. But it was just funny because he's very
But
young at this point and he has his little pajamas on, which made him look even more adorable. And he's sitting on my mom's bed watching Halloween, and like he was bad. They would eat like all of her chips, they would drink her pop, and he had flaming hots in one hand and a Coke in the other, and he's eating it while his eyes are glued to the TV, and you see his mouth like open. He's like breathing in really hard because the chips are hot, and then he's washing it down with the worst drink ever, Coke, um meaning making it worse, and he's not even scared of this movie, and I'm just looking at him like, how? You're doing two things that I could not do: eat hot chips and watch this movie. So I looked up to him when that moment happened,
nice.
starting them off young.
Good for him. He's just enduring a lot in that moment, putting his body through a lot.
His body, his mind.
Yeah, it's just all of his senses are overloading in one moment, and he's just
Yeah, he
enduring it.
he knows like a weird ass aunt next to him is just watching him like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my god. But
Uh,
yeah, you got to start them off young. They'll appreciate it in the long run.
yeah, I would like to be somewhat responsible for my nephew getting into horror movies. If he's interested, I don't want to make him get into it, but he's shown an interest. He's come downstairs to like hang out when I've been watching a horror movie, and I'll tell him, like, he'll be like, "What are you watching?" I'll be like, "I'm watching something scary." And he'll be like, "Can I watch it?" And there are
Aw.
times where I'll like think about, I mean, I was watching X one time. I'm like, "No, you cannot watch this movie." I was absolutely not. And um he but there, like, I was watching Blade one time. I was like, Blade might be a bit too much. That movie's a lot, but depending on the movie, It Follows was another one. All bad choices where I'm like, I don't think he's ready for
Right.
what these movies are bringing to the table. Um, two of them are very sexual, or like, but
Give
the
you a few years and then you could watch it.
there are times though where I'm like, he could probably handle like Halloween without the nudity or something. He
Mhm.
could handle horror movies at that level. Maybe like Christine or something, like a killer car. He loves Lightning McQueen, so be like, hey, get the other side of cars, kid. Here's when Lightning
Right.
McQueen goes bad.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I would like to have a hand in it in some way, or at least like be present when he's watching one of his first horror movies. Again, if he's interested, he's shown an interest. I feel like I'm not never gonna make him watch it, and I'm never gonna let him watch it without his parents' permission. But like I think just him coming downstairs and me pausing the TV and him being like, "What are you watching?" and me being like, "A scary movie." He's shown an interest through those like interactions, and I'm hoping maybe one day he'll take that interest to a place that is saying, "I want to watch one of these movies."
I respect that. I feel like I'm forcing my nephew to hang out with me sometimes, so I respect that you're trying to do um no, cuz I noticed he was starting to my same nephew Tad was getting into some music that I like too. I mean, him and his brother when they were little, they would listen to all the stuff that I was playing. Which was Avenged Sevenfold. Do not talk shit about them. You'll
I
make me and
wasn't
my friend
going
mad.
to.
You
I'm a
wanted
good
to.
friend. I didn't want to. I'm a
Yes,
good
you did.
friend.
But yeah, I would just remember them
I
humming
don't
it
say
mainly.
ew.
I
Sorry.
know I do. But yeah, once he got older, he started liking other bands. He got really into Motley Crue. So
Ew.
that's a what the fuck?
That was deserved.
Wow.
Not
You're
you,
really
but
a
Motley.
douchebag.
What? You like
You're
Motley Crue?
Yeah, I like Motley Crue.
Ba-na-na-na-na, Dr. Feel Good. Ba-na-na-na, make all right. That
Bad.
like.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ba-na, ba-na, ba-na-na.
No, I
Shout
like
the
them.
devil. I'm
Are we just gonna talk shit about me now? Rude.
not talking shit about you.
It's okay. I'm
Girls,
talking.
girls, girls.
No, I like them.
Girls, girls. Keep
Okay,
going.
we know you hate them apparently.
I've seen him
um,
live too.
and you're over here talking shit about me.
I don't
Rude as
hate them.
hell.
I just wanted to say you.
I'm trying to be a better person with you, and you're dragging me back into the dark side. Like, or I've never left the dark side, but still, you're bringing me
Is
back
that
to my
what's
old ways.
happening? Are you
Yeah, you're
trying?
bringing. I'm really not trying to leave the dark side, but you're bringing me
Cool.
back into my old ways of talking shit about you. So can we not?
I have
Can
that
we move
effect on
forward?
people.
Can we just
You
move
know,
forward?
when I walk in the room, people say they're like, the bitch is back. You know? So I'm going to say when I introduce myself on the podcast and be like, what's up, folks? We're Morbid Curiosities. The bitch is back. Here's my co host.
Oh my god. No, I need to come up with like a good introduction for you since you came up with this cool one for me that I actually really like. So,
I feel like you're just going to say
um
the bitch is back.
no, I'm gonna put some thought into it. I was supposed to for this episode and I forgot to. I have a terrible memory. I'm so sorry.
It's
Um
go. I took
but
over the intro anyway. I was hoping because I was thinking you might want to take over, but I was
mhm.
like hoping you let me do it so I can
Just let me know. I'll
tell
never
the
tell
world about.
you no for the intro.
I just wanted to tell the world about the championship belt they earned over the weekend.
Yes, thank you everybody. Thank you for tuning in for that. Um no, I think your intros are better than mine, so when I get creative enough, we'll see if I can come up with a good one. Maybe. We'll see.
Watch,
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
do the next time you do an intro. What all we're gonna hear is yours are better than Nick's intros. Yours, and it's just gonna be dumping on me. You know, it's gonna turn into that.
I gotta come up with a good one and then we'll see. Cause there are times that I come up with something to say and I'm just, yeah, that was really good. I know it's gonna just, leave people in like awe or whatever, and it's just silence. So I'm like, okay,
You're
never mind.
expecting gales of laughter,
I'm just expecting like
applause.
some type of reaction and I get crickets. I'm like, okay, this is why I don't talk or engage in conversation. So
Are you saying you
yeah,
want me to do more? Should I put
no,
see if I can put a sound bite of laughter in in this
no,
program?
no. I'm already laughing so much in these episodes. We don't need more laughter.
Do you want me to do you want me to get you a button that laughs when you push it so you can feel better uh, about
No,
yourself?
no. What I want you to do is laugh at my dad jokes when I give them.
I'll try. I can't fake it, you know. Just can't fake it.
You're such a fucking liar.
I'm kidding.
W- Wow. Anyway, back to my story before I forget, and then we'll get back to the movie.
I like the
um,
Slipknot reference, you know, keeping it metal.
yeah, exactly.
Very, very softball Slipknot song.
What was it? No, I took my nephew to go see Motley Crue, and they had Poison and Joan Jett there too. So and Def Leppard. So it was a good
Ooh.
time. And yeah, I'm just like, damn, did I force him to go with me or was it him that really wanted to go? I'm pretty sure it was him that wanted to go and I was like, cool, let's go. But
Am
yeah.
I forcing my
So
family to like me?
probably. I
I
no, I only force him to like me cuz
that's
he's
how it
still
felt when
young.
I got sober. Am I forcing people to liking me? Am I forcing likability?
We're forcing a lot of things. We're forcing people to listen to us right now.
Yeah, the charade's gonna collapse one of these days.
I know. I'm like, why the fuck are we still tuning in? Like,
Yeah,
what are they even talking about?
we can't keep this shit show together. I'm not even
I
talking about the
know.
podcast.
I know. We trailed off so much. Sorry, guys. Anyway, this is let's just blame that on Nick again. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it is me.
I will take the blame when it's necessary, when I actually deserve it.
I
But
like
right
how I
now,
got
I
the
did
blame.
not.
You were the one telling the Motley Crue story. I don't know how
But I was trying to hurry up and
Motley.
tell it, and then you went off on like some other tangent that I don't even remember.
I don't think that happened. Check the
It
tape.
always
Play it
happens.
back. Play.
Let's
We'll
not. I
listen
don't want
back
to
right
listen to my
now.
voice. No,
Cut
let's
to
not listen to my
commercial.
voice.
We'll take care of this off air.
We'll be back in a few minutes, folks.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Stay in your seats or whatever. Don't leave that seat. You know,
um, but the final battle between Andy, Chucky, and Kyle, did you like it? Did you think it could go any other way? Were you
I
satisfied with this?
yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great, and I like that it kept going, and that they get Chucky in the thing, and he comes out, and I was like, I don't think that's him. I was like, he wouldn't. Not the Charles that I know. Charles Lee Ray, famous serial killer of Chicago, would not go out that easy. And he didn't. You know, he rips his fucking hand off. I was like, do
Whoa.
you feel pain or not? What is happening?
Uh,
And then he shoves the knife in it. Oh
oh my
my god,
god.
that seems like the worst. I loved it though. Good move. I fucking love that he turns into a killing machine at the end of these movies, like just a relentless. He can't turn into the Andy anymore. That's defeated. He's fully human. And yeah, they failed to destroy him and they cover him in like hot plastic. I love the look of the hot plastic. I want to buy a fucking toy of that. That's my favorite Chucky look so far is hot plastic Chucky. And then he gets exploded. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. It's fucking bada bing, bada boom. You got like a 4 to 5 star movie. You
Oh
know,
my god. Yeah,
they
just
walk off. Opening credits over an image of the movie still that's not black. I love it. Sorry, you go on.
No, no. Just going back to just the brutality of this dude just fucking separating his hand from his arm. That was disgusting. Just once that gate fell on him, oh my god, it's just an instant feeling of when you bang your wrist on something,
Mhm.
but just a million times harder. And the fact that he stuck his arm in the dagger just to make his own little weapon.
Yeah, that's the Charles
Ew.
I know.
Ew. It's like if you were to stab someone, it's gonna go deeper in you. So what was the point of that? Just to look scarier, which he succeeded in. But then once he was like stapled to that little buggy thing that took him up that was supposed to attach limbs to him. I just thought it was funny because every time or in both movies when he knows he's pretty much fucked, he tries to be a little apologetic to Andy. Like in the first one when he's in the fireplace and he's about to light him on fire, he's like, "Remember, we're friends or we're friends to the end, remember?" And
Mhm.
then this one he's like, "Andy, please, I was only playing."
I like
Um
that.
yeah. And then it's just so crazy because once they see him come out, like his body's all morphed up, and they're like, "Yeah, we did it." But then they show the blood on the ground. It's like, did this dude like fall on the ground and
Mm.
just slide over somewhere? And I don't know. I just love hearing him threaten Andy. I'm gonna cut your legs off too.
Yeah.
Um, it was
God.
just
I mean,
brutal. I loved it.
he didn't need to have it that bad. He needs to learn to quit while he's ahead, this Chucky guy. You know, I've kind of backed us into the us being the lessons podcast. And listeners, if I can give you any lesson, if we here at Morbid Curiosities, the podcast that you trust every week, um, quit while you're
Multiple
ahead.
times a week.
Multiple times a week. You know, our blood is put into this. You know,
hmm
quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, just don't even try. Don't even try anymore.
Quit while you're ahead. That's yes. Charles didn't. And look where that got him. Look,
Stop calling him Charles.
that's his name. You're the one who told me. You can't. Why'd you tell me then?
Shut up. Anyway, finish your sentence.
You know, I was like, Chucky, who's fucking Chuck? Chucky's what? Then you're like, Chucky's Charles. And I was like, all right, point taken. You know, I felt dumb. I had egg on my face. Now I'm calling him by his proper name. And you're like, why? What's with this Charles? And I'm like,
Why do we have
Mercedes,
to call it?
I don't know what you want from me.
Why are we bringing the government names in? Like, why do we have to say my full name? Why do we have
you,
to say
you,
Chucky's full name?
you brought it up. I was none the wiser. You corrected me.
You're just picking fights tonight. I can't. You're just picking some
I'm not
fights.
picking fights. I could have just kept calling him Charles, and you didn't have to say anything.
It's funny because I want to say this one detail, but I'm trying to keep it until Bride of Chucky. So let me just shut up
Yeah,
now
why are you
before,
trying to spoil stuff, man? What?
because you keep making me think of points that I want to bring up for the next two movies.
Why?
So
Oh,
it's because I'm excited,
how about
Nicholas. I am
you?
excited,
You take some accountability. You're throwing this "you" word around a lot. Like you keep making me.
and I
Dude,
told you I'm
I'm not making.
excited.
How about how about try this? Be like, I am just so knowledgeable about these movies that when I hear details, I get, I almost spoil things. How about that? Use the I word a little more. little less of this you.
I'm sensing a lot of aggression coming from your end of this podcast, Nicholas. Let's
You
tone
know,
it back a little bit.
when we feel cornered, it's normal to lash out. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's be friends again. Finish
uh,
out with a bang here.
we are. Oh, people are loving it. We're fucking throwing just home runs. Is that what happened? You throw a home run? Do you
Uh,
want to pitch a home run? I don't think you want the person batting to get a home run. So
no. No.
Anyway, I broke down baseball for you guys. I hope you're happy. We did that on this episode too. um,
Let's not go into sports. I'm
I don't
terrible
know
at them.
anything about sports, so
I
I'm.
don't either.
Well, is there a sports horror movie?
Oh,
Yeah,
is
is there
there?
one? Let's compile. That's a season. Sports horror. If we can get like five, five of these, we can make this thing float.
We
You
could.
know, we
Or
got
if
gas to get us a mile, maybe.
or or we can do horror movies that have I don't know, maybe that's too far of a stretch that have sports in them for like a scene or two, maybe. Um Maybe that could help. I'm thinking of The Faculty, Carrie, um oh, what's another one?
I
Yeah,
feel like
that's all
you're
I got right
pitching
now.
more of a teen, like high school season. I should we make a sports horror movie? Should we write and film like I don't know, slash dunk or something like that. I don't know. That was terrible. I couldn't even like think of one. This is
um
hard. Now I know why this has never been done before.
I mean, that would be a moneymaker. Two people that know nothing about sports make a sports themed horror movie.
Yeah, slaughter
Would
ball.
you would you go see that? Would you pay money to go see that on opening night?
Yes, we would make a good.
Slaughter
Yes. I believe if you and I sat
Slaughter.
down right now and we were it wouldn't be called slaughter ball. No. If you and I
Why?
if you and I sat
Why?
down, what?
Why?
Why? What? Because I put no thought into it. That's why.
But it just flows.
No,
Slaughter ball.
if you and I sat down right now and we committed like we are going to write and film a sports a horror movie that is centered around a sport. Like if you and I said that and we are going our goal is it has to be good. I think I'm confident we would make a good horror movie. I don't have a doubt in my mind. I would not let this thing be bad.
Um I got nothing for that. I don't.
You have no
Not
faith? Wow, wow.
not in that. Not in a sports
I
horror
guess
movie.
Morbid Curiosity's production is in the toilet already.
No, let's make a horror movie about I don't know, music. That's
I,
something we know. Let's write about what we know.
I mean, we don't have to go with the concept I have. I mean, that would be fun if we backed our way into making a movie. I mean, we can talk off mic if you're serious. But I mean, I have a music-centered horror movie concept. I won't say it on mic though, but
Yeah, don't give your idea away.
so
Someone will
wait,
steal it. Don't do it.
you don't love Slaughterball anymore? Is that what you're saying?
You know what?
It's
I'm sorry.
beneath you
You.
all of a sudden?
This is like what the third, fourth time I've said that for this podcast.
uh,
For this
no,
episode, I mean.
it's fine. Slaughterball, we'll put it on the shelf. Listeners, when there's a demand for Slaughterball, we'll bring it to the people. There has to be a demand.
Do you guys want Slaughterball? Do you want to hear more about Slaughterball?
There has to
Would
be a
you
demand.
go? Yes. Would you go see Slaughterball on opening night? If
We've
we don't get a lot of people saying yes, then we can't do it.
we've got to get this thing to a $10 million budget.
Hmm.
Slaughterball. Tell your friends. um
Watch no one's listening right now.
Everybody's gonna love it. Everybody's listening. They have faith in us. They believe in us, and I believe in us. Um, we started a podcast. Not
Yeah.
a lot of people can say that, but
Yeah, definitely.
should we wrap up on Child's Play 2 and then kind of find some sort of landing for this plane?
Sounds good. What are your final thoughts on this movie?
Um, I did want to say, if this episode were a plane, it would be Air Force One. This whole podcast, Air Force One. Just had to throw that out there. Mercedes is laughing because she's like, Nick is an idiot. She's like, that's just one of the. He didn't answer my question to say that.
He never answers my questions. He goes
Because
into like other tangents
there's a
and then gets mad
delay
at
and
me when
th-
I go on tangents.
there's a delay and a thought hits me right as you're saying something and I never know. I abandon a lot of thoughts, trust me. I'm like, I can't derail this. You should just take the time to think about the times I'm not interrupting you.
Okay, I will hold on to those for the next episode.
Yeah. Um yeah, Child's Play 2 fucking rules. Let me see what it got rated on Letterbox. By the way, follow me on Letterbox at Nicholas Ewers. Um Let me go check this out. Also, Merciless Aesthetics. Go follow her on Instagram. Uh,
Yeah, if you guys need a facial or any type of full body waxing, I got you covered.
Hell yeah. So I thought the rating for Child's Play 2 was lower. It's not. It's at a 3.2. Um, that's acceptable. I get that for a horror movie. That's kind of like I would put it at like a 3.8 by like normal movie standards. Horror movies kind of just by default get less than usual. Not by default sometimes, but this movie, yeah, rules. 4 out of 5. That's what I gave it on Letterboxd. I didn't know what to expect. I think I'm really gonna walk away from this like Chucky season, really cherishing the time I spent with these three Child's Play movies. I am so on board, and that I don't know if it's just because we're talking about them together. Like, there's a little bit of an elevation that's happening with these movies. If I'm caring about them more because they're a part of this early podcast journey, but I am really like I've really like loved these two movies, and I think I'm gonna look back on them and like cherish these two Child's Play movies. I'm really into them. I'm glad we started here. It's a good place to start. It's like pretty cool. Yeah, this was smart.
Yeah, good call on your end, just because when we
It
were
was a
starting,
collaborative effort. I'm not gonna take all the credit. It was a
I'm
collaborative
trying to
effort.
give you some fucking credit here, and then you share it. Come on, don't be a
It
good
has to be
guy
shared.
here. Don't be a
All
good
shared
guy
credit.
here. Look at what happened to Chucky.
I was
He's a
gonna say
good
that's a
guy.
good Chucky reference. I like
And I
it.
didn't even try to, so
I got
cool. They
happy.
good, good. They sometimes come at a good moment. But what was it? Yeah, we were trying to figure out what movies to go in sequence when we were figuring out the lineup for the podcast, and even talking about it today. We started off with Psycho because neither of us have seen it. Then we went into, since this is based off of our blind spots and what we would assume other people's blind spots are for horror movies, that's when we dove into Misery because Nick didn't see it, and then we dove into Green Room because I didn't see it, and then we just decided let's go into a franchise that most people have seen, that I really love, but it's great because you have only seen the first one and now the second one. So now with each movie, it's just, what is he gonna think of this part, or is he gonna like this film more than this one? Um, so I'm excited just to get your reaction out of these. So it's a fun time. These two are my favorite ones out of the franchise. And yeah, just watch them all if you haven't.
Yeah, hopefully you guys are watching for the podcast. I mean,
Yeah,
get on board
that
with
too.
this. Yeah, we're having a great time with these. At least I am. I don't want to speak for you. I'm having a great time watching these Chucky movies.
Hell
Um,
yeah, I'm having a fucking amazing time doing this.
I am excited, even though. So, starting with Bride of Chucky, my expectations are pretty low. Not because of Bride of Chucky itself, because I've seen the intro of Seed of Chucky and it looked fucking horrendous. Um, yeah, that's gonna Seed of Chucky is gonna be an episode, guys. Don't miss that one. I have a feeling we're gonna be fucking firing on all cylinders for that one. Um,
Yeah,
but Bride of Chucky,
boy.
my expectations are pretty low, and I'm excited because of that. Even though that kind of contradicts each other, I'm excited because I'm expecting like a a bad movie. I'm expecting them to like dip in quality after Child's Play, but I think I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool if I walked away and I was like, guys, but Bride of Chucky is kind of good, you know? I like, or I don't think I'll think like Cult of Chucky or whatever, Curse of Chucky, um, are like that great, but it would be kind of cool if I did, you know? So I'm excited to see how this all shakes out.
I just need you to finish watching all of these so I can start telling you what
We're
I'm
sa-
thinking
I can only watch
because
them as fast as we record them.
I am losing my mind trying to hold this all in.
I know
I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
we could have potentially recorded yesterday. I know that was on the table.
No, it's
But
okay. It's
yeah,
okay.
for the listeners, my life is a disaster right now. I was a victim of identity theft and I'm picking up
It's
the
rough.
pieces. Yeah, so this podcast was actually a fucking fantastic separation and departure from all that horse shit. Thank you to the listeners for keeping this thing going, and thank you for Mercedes for wanting to embark on this Chucky journey together.
Hell yeah. Thanks to Nicholas for just bringing up the idea. And yeah, let's just see where the next episode goes because I have opinions and I know your opinions.
Hmm.
I'm pretty certain what they're going to be. So stay tuned, everyone.
And while we're throwing thanks around, thanks to Charles for being just such a good guy.
You just had to throw that in there. You couldn't go off a winner or go out a winner. You just had to kill it, didn't you?
We've been morbid curiosities.